Hey, would you like to make better decisions? Now, seriously, would you like to make better decisions and have fewer regrets? And who wouldn't? Is it possible to prepare for better? And are good decisions often based on asking, answering, and acting on good questions? What if George Washington let the colonies make him king? And what if Martin Luther King stayed in the North and didn't address the issues of his day? Bring it home. What decisions are you facing today? Hey friend, welcome to the Question Point. It's a place where inquiry, exploration, dialogue, reflection, free thinking, and challenging, and these questions are welcome and valued. Will you go beyond simply watching and reacting to really reflect and think about the meaning in the message? And will you be willing to possibly change and be your own thought leader? Now, the majority of today's topic, this question point, is in large part a summary adaptation of Andy Stanley's available online videos on the topic, Better Decisions, Fewer Regrets. So let's acknowledge and thank Andy. And if you like this video, I recommend you check out his videos or read his book, Better Decisions, Fewer Regrets, to dive deeper into understanding and application. And later in this video, I'll share a personal story applying the 5 questions which Andy presents as a key to making better decisions. Now, Andy suggests that if we will ask, answer honestly, and act on our answers to these 5 questions, we will make better decisions and we will live our lives, decide our lives in a direction that will significantly increase the odds of ending up where we want to be. And just as important, the people who look to us, the people who depend on us, their lives will be better as well. And so let's dive in to the 5 questions to ask, answer, and act on for better decisions. Here we go. Question number 1, the integrity question. Am I being honest with myself? Why am I doing this really? Is the easiest person to deceive the person right there in the mirror? Will I stop deceiving myself and be honest with myself, even if the truth makes me feel bad about myself? I.e., like, why would I buy a new car? Why am I ordering more stuff? Why am I hanging out with that person? Why am I watching that show? Why am I making this video? Really, really why? And even if we're not willing to be honest with everyone else or anyone else, don't we owe it to ourselves to be honest with ourselves? Question number 2, the legacy question. What story do I want to tell? Am I writing a page in my story that I hope nobody finds out about? Am I writing a page that I hope I never need to share with my children or my grandchildren? And will we decide now, and with each decision, to write a chapter in our life story that we will be glad to share? Question number 3, the conscience question. Is there tension that deserves my attention? Now, While drunk and drugged people, they may have silenced their inner voice. They can't help themselves. But do we often, when we're sober, ignore our inner compass and miss opportunities to help ourselves and to help others? Is there tension in a situation that deserves my attention? Will we pay attention to that check in our spirit that causes us tension? Will we respond to the red flags? Will we pause and reflect long enough to make better decisions? Will those moments, the seconds, the minutes, the hours, even days that we pause to consider our gut checks, will they help us make better decisions? Now, key is to pay attention to that tension and pause for more thinking. And in a few moments, I'll share a story of how this question moved me. Question number 4, the maturity question. What's the wise thing for me to do? In light of my past experience, my current circumstance, and my future hopes and dreams, what's the wise thing for me to do? And is what's right always wise and best? Can something be legal but not wise? Can a decision be not wrong and not wise at the same time? Aren't our greatest regrets usually preceded by a series of unwise decisions? Now, we don't need to act on the answers, but again, don't we owe it to ourselves to know the answers to the questions? Isn't it true that what we don't know or won't know actually can hurt us and can hurt those closest to us? So, not what's wise for someone else, but ask the question, what's the wise thing for me to do now in this situation? And now, question number 5, the relationship question. This is a tough one. What does love require of me? Now, unlike the other 4 questions, this question may not have an easily seen or envisioned return on investment. But aren't there solid principles involved, such as love never fails? And didn't Jesus teach, love one another as I have loved you, and treat others the way you want to be treated, and you will reap what you sow? So are we willing to consider and engage the relationship question? It's not about making our own lives better. It's about making someone else's life better. And when we're not sure what to say or do in relationships, could our best option be to ask, what does love require of me today, right now? Now, these 5 questions, they bring us a long way towards better decisions, but we don't need to limit ourselves. Are there additional, possibly personal questions that, when applied, will help us each to make better decisions? Now, my first thoughts they grew out of this catechism, right, from the Westminster, from like 400 years ago. There was this first question that said, what is the chief aim or chief end of man? What's our real purpose? And their answer was to glorify God and enjoy him forever. So questions come out of that. Like in some situation, will my actions, my words, will they glorify God? And how? And will they help me to enjoy Him forever? So that's just one example. Your turn. What about you? What are your personal questions for better decisions? Think about it. And now here's my personal story of application. Not long ago, on a Friday morning, early Friday morning, I was all set and ready to go to the gym. Man, I had the gear on, the shorts, the shirt, the shoes. I had the bag in my hand. I'm ready to head out the door. And then I checked on my wife. Is it okay if I go to the gym now? Yeah. Why would I care if you go to the gym? Now let me add some context. My wife had been recovering from a couple weeks of illness with several antibiotics and some heavy duty steroids that she was coming down off of. And the night prior, my wife had shared how she planned to drive almost an hour both ways to an appointment Friday morning. And so I asked, honey, how are you feeling? And she says, not feeling too good. Ouch. It's like, as I walked away, I quickly became less than 100% confident in my morning gym plans. I acknowledged that there was some tension. Not a lot of tension, but enough to get my attention and to cause me to pause. And so as I walked back to grab my gym bag, I started asking Andy's 5 questions for better decisions. Am I being honest with myself? Why am I doing this? Really? Well, I'm going to the gym to maintain health and to renew my energy. It's necessary. But I could go outside and run around the block and get on the floor and do some exercise, grab some dumbbells at home and still be able to take my wife and drive her to an appointment. Well, what story do I want to tell? I want to be able to tell a story that I loved my wife more than I loved the gym. What's the wise thing to do? Well, both options are good. But I would have regret if I didn't drive my wife to her appointment and she ended up in an accident or other issue because she wasn't feeling good. What does love require of me? Now that sealed the deal. The dialogue, the debate was over. The decision was made. I would offer to drive my wife to her appointment. I'm sure these questions led to a better decision. Can you imagine the story if I went to the gym instead? Now it's your turn. How will you ask, answer, and apply better questions to make better decisions today? Hey, thanks for sharing this question point. What do you think? What's your question point today?